Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm planning and setting up my May bullet journal spreads with an Alice in Wonderland theme in a scrapbooky style. May is my birthday month, so I'm extra excited to set up this month's spread. When I turned 21, I had an Alice in Wonderland themed party where everyone dressed up as the characters from the book, and I dressed up as the Red Queen with a big card crown that I made myself. I've always loved Alice in Wonderland, so it was really fun setting up this month's pages. I really dug into my stationery supplies this month, trying to find papers and washi tape that gave an Alice in Wonderland vibe. I came up with this stacked plate paper that reminded me of the tea party from the book. On top of that, I've added this wax paper playing card, and just under that I'm adding a very small Queen of Hearts card. I ended up printing a few small Alice in Wonderland pictures to include in this journal. I found them over on Canva, just printed them out with my black and white printer. Usually I draw or paint the art in my journal, but this month I was in the mood to just add and arrange papers, pictures, and some washi tape. Like most of the stationery in this setup, I've had this Alice in Wonderland washi tape strip for the longest time, and I kept it for the day that I would make an Alice in Wonderland setup. And that day has finally come, so I just picked a few that worked and cut them out, and I've used them as stickers. In the corner, I wanted to add a little drink me bottle, so I decided to draw it in using my Sakura Micron liner pen. I'm starting to lean into the mixed media more and more. I really enjoy adding different elements into these cover pages. To fill in this page, I'm using this book page from an old book. I find it easier to start filling up the page if I start with the big piece first that covers most of the white paper, and then I can layer on top of that. To make it fit better and to give it some more texture, I've ripped all of the sides before gluing it down. For the calendar, I'm using this cream dot grid paper. Using a dot grid paper helps me to space out the calendar without having to measure everything first. I mainly use this calendar to mark the days that I've successfully posted. You can also use it to mark any specific task that you might want to take notes of. Like, for example, what days you work or have to go to class. You can also add a key and use different colors for different tasks or subjects, for example, if you're a student. And just make a little dot on each day. For the days of the week, I'm using my alphabet stamps with my Ranger Distress ink pad in the color Gathered Twigs. I definitely want to get more of these pads with a few different colors. Lastly, I'm filling in the dates for May using my Pigma Micron pen, and for the 2 days before May and after, I'm crossing them out. You can also leave them blank or just black them out too. Now, let's add the month title on the cover page. Here I'm using a piece of tea-stained paper. See, even the smallest scrap papers sometimes make it into the journal. Now, it wouldn't be a scrapbook style if I didn't constantly jump between pages every time inspiration struck, and just added one more rabbit. Moving on to the next spread, I've added tea-stained paper to the left corner and used my distress ink to darken the ripped edges. On the left, I had a page with a queen and a king on it, so I ripped it in half, and I've added the queen to this page, and I'm saving the king for another page. Layering on top with some cursive washi tape and another hearts playing card. To accompany the queen, I'm using one of my printed pictures. This one is of the card soldiers painting the queen's roses. I used to have a little Alice in Wonderland book when I was a kid, and it had the best art in it. I used to love reading it over and over again to the point where it was just falling apart. There are certain stories that follow us throughout our lives, and this one is one that I hold dear. My friend gave me this set of nail art stickers that I haven't used yet, so I wanted to add them on top of the card, one of Alice and one of the Cheshire Cat. This is going to be my calendar page. I've been using this page pretty consistently the last few months in my setups to track holidays, events, and as a content planner as well. For now, I probably won't change my layout yet. If it's not broken, don't fix it. There are definitely spreads that fall away after a while, or you get bored with it and you try something new. Sometimes before I set up my monthly spreads, I also like to go through some of my older journals to see if there's a layout or a spread that I've forgotten about and might want to bring back. For the days of the week, I'm using my alphabet stamps again. You might have noticed my little upside down E. This is the first of quite a few embarrassing mistakes that I made in this setup and absolutely left as is, starting off with the title of the page. And my second mistake, one that I embarrassingly only saw when I was editing this video. If I remember correctly, I was watching some series on my computer while I was setting this up, and I was definitely in my own little world. The habit tracker this month is new for me. I was getting a little bored with the calendar habit tracker, so I looked around on Pinterest and I found a similar layout to this one and put my own twist on it. So the idea is to have 4 to 5 week sections with a square for each day in the week, and have the habits at the top so that you can color in or check each day that you do that habit. I thought this layout would kind of work as a graph too, so I can see if my habits have a pattern each week throughout the month. You gotta love that data collection. Keeping it simple, I'm just adding some scrap washi tape. Like I said, nothing goes to waste here. I've really been enjoying adding not only quote pages to my setups, but also making it like a cover page for the weeklies. To fill in most of the page and to use as a background, I'm adding another book page, as well as this cursive text and floral washi tape. I really like this tape. It has a nice vintage feel to it, but unfortunately I've run out of it recently, so I'm gonna try and find something similar to replace it. If you have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate that. At the bottom of the page, I'm stacking these playing cards like they're fanned out in your hand, with some of them being upside down. I don't know what inspired this, but I was kind of looking at the cards to see which ones to add, and I kind of fanned them out in my hands, and I thought, oh, well, that could be pretty cool. So I decided to try that. And after gluing all of them down, I then carefully cut around the page edge. And I'm using my corner cutter to round out the corners. Here I'm using the same Alice picture as on the cover page, but slightly bigger. For this page's quote, I went with one of my favorites. Okay, are you ready? "But I don't want to go among mad people," Alice remarked. "Oh, you can't help that," said the cat. "We're all mad here." It gives me chills. I love that quote. At the top, I've added a little label that says "Drink Me," and here at the bottom is the weekly's title to say that the weeklies follow after this page. I'm using my Sakura Micron liner pen to write everything, and then we can move on to my weeklies. I don't usually add all of my weeklies in a setup, but this month I was enjoying being crafty. The first page in my weekly section is more of a month at a glance page where I can write down events, holidays, birthdays, and a master to-do list for the month. For this month's setup, I'm using a lot of different stationery. I'm trying to really go through my stationery and use some of the things that I've had for a very long time, but I haven't gotten to using them yet. And a lot of my stationery I bought from local craft stores or art stores and not from Amazon or an online shop. So I know that recreating this exact setup would be impossible, but for me, these videos are meant to inspire you and get your creativity flowing. I love watching other journalists set up each month and inspire me. Not always to use their layouts or similar themes, but just to create. For example, I've been watching a few junk journal videos and I really enjoy watching them. I don't personally do junk journaling, but I like how they use mixed media, and that inspires me to start being creative in how I approach my bullet journal. Since I started to do more scrapbook style pages, I've noticed that it can be difficult to figure out how you want your page to look and to plan beforehand. But once you start gluing down the papers, it gets easier and you get into the flow of it, and I really enjoy that part. Before I let you go to enjoy some weekly setups without me bothering you, I just want to thank you for watching my May setup. I've been enjoying setting up my journal this past year and sharing it with you. If you like the way I've been setting up my journal with the scrapbook style, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you want to see more from me in the future, please hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you'll know when I post my next video. Thanks again for watching, and I hope that you have a very crafty day.